Well, the Ticats won the toss, and they want the ball to start from the south end. There's Myron Mitchell, one of the newcomers, back with Isaiah Wooden for this return. 2026 in the Canadian Football League is underway. It is taken by Wooden, and flying in to take him down is Josh Archibald right across the 30. So on comes Bo Levi Mitchell, the CFL's leading passer, nearly 5,300 yards in 2025.
Yeah, and Bo Levi Mitchell's obviously a special player. Again, being in Scott Milanovich's offense, you got to be excited if you're a Hamilton Tiger Cats fan right now, because of the continuity he's got. He's obviously got a special arm. I'm really looking forward to what he does this season.
Here we go, and a first down and 10 for Bo Levi Mitchell, starting his 4th season as a member of the Tiger Cats after a full decade with the Calgary Stampeders. Up at their 33, new running back. To his right is Larry Roundtree. Instead, Mitchell to throw. Off to the right, completes his first one to Keandre Smith, who slides down for a first down. How about a look at that Ticat starting offense?
To me, it starts up front with newcomer Chris Kolonkowski out of York. Listen, he's got his hands full today with Norwell-Thorpe's defense. He's a veteran guy that got him from Winnipeg. He's going to do a great job kind of shoring up this offensive line. And then receiver-wise, Giddens Jr. out of Wilfrid Laurier. Dwayne, this guy's got to fill the shoes of Tim White and be the other guy outside of Kenny Lawler and make plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Adding a little bit of Canadian content to that receiving corps.
Up near the 45, the first down, Keandre Smith, and Mitchell to pass again. And a deep shot. Going for it right away for Kenny Lawler. And Lorenzo Burns coming in, and he bumps him, and there are no flags on the field, and they're hearing about it from the Ticats crowd right now. Boy, that didn't take long for him to go right after Kenny Lawler.
Absolutely not. Early on, first play, they had 2 tight ends, which was a little wild. Second play, they come out 5R, take a one-on-one shot. I thought there was a bit of contact here. I really thought, you look at that, it's a bit early. Probably could have been a penalty, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you the thing I love, Luke, here from a mindset point of view is Hamilton being aggressive offensively, taking that shot. We talk a lot about Montreal's aggressiveness, trying to give different looks and come after you. The one way to get them out of that, right, is make big plays against them.
Absolutely. We'll review the play.
Heard the announcement from the referee, Tom Valesi. It will be a challenge by Scott Milanovich. And it did look like contact from Lorenzo Burns, who had his back to the ball coming in. As Milanovich with a few words to the guys in stripes there.
And you talk about openers, and you know, in the CFL, in a 3-down game, it's not as critical to have exactly a script. But again, you want to talk about as a play call or something really cool. You come out in that first play, bit of a spacing concept. You have 2 inline tight ends.
Yeah.
And then the next play, you're 5R and you're throwing to the best receiver in the league on a one-on-one shot. So that's versatility right there. And I think they're going to win this challenge.
Yeah, and I think by the look of it, Burns kind of ran through Kenny Lawler on that play, right? Not looking back for the football. So the Ticats may get a big gain here.
This be a dream start. I'll say this. When you you get a completion and a DPI, doesn't get much better than that.
On a big play like that, you can see Milanovich frustrated that he had to use his challenge flag and believes that it is an obvious call. And we'll know in a moment if they're moving deeper down into the Alouette zone in this penalty. So they still discuss and they review it, and here is the decision. And Tom Valesi.
After review by the replay center, we have pass interference. Montreal number 20. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
You know, I think what really jams Montreal here is you don't really make a play on the ball. You know, if you're the defensive back and you turn your head a little bit, maybe then it's a little more, you know, gray. But when I'm looking at this,
yeah,
that's a pretty easy one for me, Dwayne.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying not to let Kenny Lawler kill him, right? Kenny Lawler doing what Kenny Lawler does. Burns is just trying to gain ground. Didn't have a chance to locate the football. But the end result is the same. Big gain for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Alouettes back on their heels.
A 48-yard penalty to put him in business inside the 20. Here we go, Hamilton. Opening possession of this 2026 season from the 17. Mitchell swinging it off. First touch for Larry Roundtree. The new running back in town who picks up a few more yards inside the 15.
Now we'll take a look at this Montreal Alouettes starting defense, marked by its Canadian content. Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund has been a monster over the last 2 years since coming over from Calgary, certainly one of the top Canucks in the league. Jeffrey Kenta-Arku one of the most productive defenders in the league on a snap-by-snap basis. They had to get him into the starting lineup this year. Nate Beauchemin takes over at safety. Big shoes to fill with Marc-Antoine Dequoy on the move, but they liked Beauchemin when they picked him in the second round a year ago.
A 4-yard pickup for new running back Larry Roundtree on that reception. 2nd and 6. Deep in the Alouette zone. Mitchell has time. Finds another receiver too. He goes back to Keandre Smith. Second catch in this young ball game. He takes it down to about the 7, right around first down territory for Hamilton.
And they spread out here empty. You know, they got 6 guys. And you see here just a great stick route here, and you're going to see him sit in zone. So here you go. See how he just turns here? That's great detail. Ball's on the inside shoulder. Again, I know it's a simple play, Dwayne, but when I see this, I think high-level execution. That simple sit, and the ball's accurate.
Yeah, recognition certainly of what the coverage is giving him, and being on the same page with his quarterback, which Keandre Smith has certainly been with Bo Levi Mitchell the last 2 seasons.
Here's Jake Dolegala to handle the short yardage, and a flag's come out. With the snap of the football, he would have enough for the first down. So will it be 1st and goal? We'll await. Looks like a jump there along the line for Montreal. So 1st and goal coming up.
And obviously options in terms of what they do in short yardage for Hamilton.
Offside. Montreal number 95. Half the distance to the goal. Results in a first down.
Hamilton benefiting with the penalty call here. Jake Dolegala handling the short yardage duties for Hamilton out of the gate here. Remember, they've also got Trey Ford as an option, right? 2 very different quarterbacks behind Bo Levi Mitchell, but they both give you a chance to do some unique things.
Yeah, I was looking forward to see who that guy would be, because there's a lot of creativity you can do with Trey Ford back there.
Yeah, no question.
Ford is listed 2nd on the depth with Dolegala 3rd. And Mitchell is back in, just inside the 4, and a 1st and goal. Rolling to the right, caught Andy Litre, and another flag comes down. He is tackled there by Robert Kennedy, and essentially no gain, maybe half a yard, but as said, the flag out again.
A quick recognition there from the halfback, Robert Kennedy.
Offside. Montreal number 96. Half distance to the goal. Result is a first down.
So they put it down to the 2 on that, and a 1st and goal again here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
You see Luol Uguak up near the top of your screen, just lined up offside.
Mitchell hands off. Roundtree keeps bulling his way and doesn't quite get there. 2nd and goal coming up. Alouettes were on Roundtree, just needed the 2 yards, but didn't quite get it in.
And it'll be some big bodies, including 6'7" quarterback Jake Dolegala making their way to the huddle here. The short yardage unit set up on the 1-yard line.
See Adiemi Berglund, the first contact, and it was Najee Murray, the nickel linebacker, coming in to make sure he didn't get in. 8th play of the drive, 2nd and goal at the Alouette 1. Dolegala in again, keeps it himself, and breaks the plane for a Hamilton touchdown. Just like that, the Ticats on the board for 2026. First touchdown of the year scored by quarterback Jake Dolegala.
Well, Luke, we talk about little things, and that execution in short yardage proves big on this drive for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, and I'll say this, that was a really spectacularly drawn up drive in general. They were in and out of personnel. They had some short throws. They always took the shot to Kenny. The run there, got him right down to the 1-yard line. If you're Scott Milanovich right now, you're pretty excited. It's a hot start to the season.
Yeah, well, and with a little help certainly from the Alouettes. 3 penalties on the opening drive from a pretty veteran defense.
And the point after from Leggio, but yeah, the 3 penalties, including the big one.
You want to stay away from the trailers, anything about it. Not for older consumption.
Hamilton has the lead, kicking off to Mark Leggio, back Travis Tice. And their new returner right now with the injury to Devontae Dedman. That is Phillip Brooks with the ball across the 15 and the 20.
With the perfect start to the season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll see what Davis Alexander has up his sleeve in response.
In his 5th year at Portland State, his 2nd as the #1 quarterback for the Alouettes. First possession, Travis Tice with it. Tice in his second year out of South Dakota, and he pushes it up across the 25. A second and long coming up.
Up front, Justin Lauren, his 100th CFL game today, three-time Grey Cup champ. This guy's all grit. He's awesome to watch up front, does a lot of cool things in the offensive line. And then Tyson Philpott, I love watching him play. He's just got the ability to do everything. Underneath, short, intermediate, down the field, but he also blocks. This guy is physical in the RPO game. Very fun watch.
Second down, 7 to go, throwing, and it's caught right at the first down marker by Tyler Snead. His best year in 2025. He was the Alouettes' leading receiver.
I love the timing and the touch on this one. Davis Alexander gets forced out of rhythm, flush from the pocket here, but just lays it up in a perfect spot for Tyler Snead to go get it.
That's a heck of a throw. I know he makes it look easy, but you got a guy in your face, you're rolling right. Again, not the first read. That's a heck of a throw there by Davis Alexander.
Snead, 84 catches, 1,129 yards last year and 4 touchdowns. He had a touchdown in the Eastern Final on this field last November to help Montreal's win. Little play fake and throwing to the left now on first down, Tyson Philpott. Fond memories of this stadium for the Grey Cup 3 years ago, and he has his first catch at 2026.
And we'll take a look at this Hamilton Tiger Cat defense, led by the East Division's most outstanding defensive player a year ago, Julian Hauser, a guy who seems to just get better with age. Now, middle linebacker Devin Varasek has gone to the NFL. Winton McManus injured this week. So Ryan Baker, in his third year out of UBC, makes the start at middle linebacker. Stavros Katsantonis, a three-way All-Canadian tie for the league lead in interceptions last year. He's at free safety.
Another run for Travis Tice. Made quite the impression last year for his versatility, special teams as well. Another carry, and a good one there on first down.
So a little trivia question for you guys. I said three-way All-Canadian tie for the league lead in picks. Can you name the other two guys? We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Gonna get working on that one.
Yeah.
It's a nice stat line right there.
Yeah.
That's a really solid year. You're feeling good about that.
Yes, sir.
Midway through the opening quarter of the 2026 season. Second down. Toss on the sweep for Alexander Hollins. His second year with the Alouettes after starting his career with the BC Lions and moving on to Edmonton, but read nicely by Jamal Peters, who comes in and stops them there.
And again, you talk about value here at a position, and obviously quarterback is at a premium, but look at these numbers. I mean, it's not even close here. The stark contrast, that's how much value this guy brings on the field. And I would argue that he brings just as much off of it. You listen to the interviews, he's got the tank top on. He just seems like the team kind of embodies his attitude, and they were a couple plays away from winning a Grey Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk about the fact that in the game of football, I've always felt that teams take their personality largely from two sources, their head coach and their quarterback. I don't know if there are two more competitive guys on the planet than Jason Moss and Davis Alexander.
I would argue they almost multiply each other.
Second and 11 now. That loss and that sweep by Hollins. Passing down here for Alexander, has time. Coming across to get that is Jarrett Stearns, who last year was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he has his first catch, but it is not quite enough for a first down. Third coming up here, and the punting unit coming on.
You'll see Jarrett Stearns coming right to left across your screen. He's the check down. He's just looking for a window there between the linebackers to provide an outlet, but just short of first down yardage.
Isaiah Wooden, didn't think they'd have him back this year. He'd signed a reserve contract with Cleveland, but was released earlier in the month, and they just brought him back a couple of weeks ago. One of the explosive returners in the CFL in 2025. He had 3 return touchdowns last season, and Wooden has the ball inside his 20 after a punt of 44 yards by Joseph Zima. Turns it back up.
Who has provided second life for people like Anthony Calvillo, Ricky Ray in the past. Now Bo Levi Mitchell, a guy looking for a championship in this second half of his career.
So second possession of the game, but that's going nowhere for Larry Roundtree as he loses a couple of yards. But yeah, the numbers Well, they don't lie for Bo Levi Mitchell despite a tough start with Hamilton, but the last couple of years, Luke, and you can see just what he has done leading the way in passing.
And what's scary is, you know, talking to Bo, talking to Scott Milanovich before the game, is they're saying that this is the best he's looked.
Yeah.
So if he's doing that the last 2 years, what is this season going to bring?
Lost yardage and first down, 2nd and 13. It's caught. Finds a spot over the middle, just across the 30, and perfectly placed for a first down for the Ticats.
And this is a nice concept here. It's basically what I like to call little wraps. You're going to see a stop route right in this area, and then we're just going to wrap right around it here. So as we roll this, again, you got a quad look to the right. Here you go. You play this right off the linebacker. All you need is that split-second pause, and it's a speed cut inside. You don't want to square cut that. You want to rip in there, and obviously Bo's got it.
The Curly Gittins Jr. started his career with the Argos, went out to Edmonton, and now back in the East. First game with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and a first down, too. Up at the 32 and a 1st and 10. Mitchell, short coming across, and another completion for Bo Levi Mitchell in the first one as a Ticat for ex-Bomber Carrick Wheatfall, with Lorenzo Burns taking him down.
Yeah, certainly a little different look for that Ticat receiving core with one of their perennial stars, Tim White, having moved west to Winnipeg. Curly Gittins and Carrick Wheatfall coming back the other way and looking for big things from those guys.
Wheatfall got his first CFL start a couple of years ago in Winnipeg when Kenny Lawler was injured. They were teammates with the Bombers and teammates once more. Has a catch, 5 yards, 2nd and 5 at the Hamilton 37 with the Ticats in a 7-point lead. Mitchell hasn't thrown an incompletion yet in this game. And there is number 1. After 5 straight completions, looking for Lawler again. Second time he's looked for him. The last one was a pass interference call, but it's a 3rd and 5 coming up. Punting unit coming on for Hamilton.
This is really interesting here. So it looks like press coverage early, and that's obviously a matchup you want to take. But Montreal does a good job where you see Beverette just flying out there. So they almost bait Bo Levi into throwing it, knowing, okay, he's going to take this matchup. I'm absolutely flying out there to give help to our corner.
This is Mitchell McCarthy, the punter from Melbourne, Australia, who last January was in the national championship game in U.S. college football for Indiana. And that's Phillip Brooks on the return with a flag coming out for Brooks on the return for the Alouettes. Like a hold coming up here for the Alouettes. There's Tom Valesi as they push Montreal a little further back.
During the return, holding, Montreal number 48, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Flagging Kavion Ento on special teams. Jason Mott.
A long ways away from being his 14th start of the season of his career. He's actually in his 159th to be exact. Now he actually is coming off his best training camp according to his head coach Scott Milanovich. He's at 36 years young. Bo Levi Mitchell still has tons of time left in this league. And I know, guys, we've talked about those CFL power rankings a few times, and I just want to say Bo Levi Mitchell was ranked number 2. His teammate Stavros Katsatonis said nothing against Nathan Rourke, who's at number 1, but that spot should have been saved for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Always an interesting argument, Brett. And by the way, you saw at the end of that graphic, Davis Alexander a perfect 3-0 and starts against Bo Levi Mitchell, but that one falls incomplete, intended off to the right for Tyson Philpott. Lost his footing.
Yeah, you take a look at this one. I think this just threw him off in his delivery. Watch when he gets to the end of his drop, that right foot kind of slipped out. Looks like he might have tweaked something there.
I hope not. I hope not, Dwayne. I was on Jay Onrate's show last night. He's my preseason favorite MOP. We can't have this.
Of course, you have to be mindful. I mean, he had a slight knee injury in the preseason. Of course, the hamstring last year. Completes it there over the middle of Cole Speaker. Ball comes out as he was going down. They let it play out. Hamilton with the football. And it is Greg Jr. with the ball. Speaker slow to get up, needing help. Had the catch, enough for a first down. Looks like before he went down, that ball came out.
Yeah, Alexander hits Speaker in stride here. Starts off looking like a pretty good play.
And I'll say this, watch the protection here. There's a pressure. It's an unbelievable job by the O-line. And Davis Alexander sees it, gets the ball out. It'll be interesting to see if he is down.
Saw the left hand go to the turf. So they're reviewing, and does a knee go down actually as well?
Certainly looks like the ball will be going back to Montreal here.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, it looked like that left knee maybe twisted up as he got pulled down.
Ripped out by Stavros Katsantonis with Quavian White taking Speaker down, but yeah, awkward with the knee. Seeing him reach forward and still getting attention is Cole Speaker.
Yeah, a guy who becomes so much more important this year in that Montreal receiving core. Austin Mack having moved on, Charleston Rambo not back with the team this season. So when you look at their American receivers, the sort of depth and experience, Cole Speaker, a very critical piece for the Montreal Alouettes.
After automatic review by the replay center, the Montreal player was down at the 33-yard line.
Well, I mentioned Tyson Philpott in Grey Cup here 3 years ago. There's another guy. To start the second half, a quick drive. Cody Fajardo had hit Austin Mack, and then a touchdown for Speaker. But have another look at the play here.
It's become a bit of a safety blanket, and obviously he's limping off right now. Hopefully he's all right, but you love to see the chemistry that him and Davis Alexander have. Again, there's some pressure coming from the right side. Davis Alexander looks left, kind of manipulating the defense. Boom, shot. He's in the right place where he's expected to be. Like you said, Dwayne, if he's not back this game, that is a major loss for this receiving corps.
And the other play that came to mind in that Grey Cup on this very field was before the Philpott touchdown, 3rd and 5, as Fajardo found Speaker to set up and give Montreal a chance against the Bombers. And fondly remembered for what he did then, and you're right, a key part of this Alouette offense. Limping off there after the catch for the first down. Up across the 30. Davis Alexander. Looking like he's trying to change the play, but
time count violation.
A time count.
Montreal number 10. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
I think this was a substitution issue here. It looks like they're missing someone. You can see they're looking at the sidelines, and obviously now going 5R, but they only had 11 players on the field. Montreal's been a bit undisciplined right now when it comes to penalties.
And it's interesting because one of the things that we were talking about up here in the booth before the game is the fact that Montreal has not had a lot of change to their roster, right? It's not like they're guys who are unfamiliar to the system, to the team, etc. But a little out of sorts here maybe early on.
So after the penalty, Alexander, short coming across. And that's one of the new additions to the offense. Shamari,
one of the masterminds who can execute it. So that is a big spot for me to watch this year.
And I think when you look at the changes, it speaks to some of the depth that they've established.
Right back to Shamari Lawrence.
You know, like we mentioned Darnell Sankey going. Significant player, obviously, on the move. But Jeffrey Cantin-Arcou steps up now into a bigger role, a guy who's established himself as very productive, ready to play. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, we know, has been one of the top safeties in the league the last couple of years. You're replacing him with a guy in Nate Beauchemin, who was a high draft pick for them a year ago, ready to start. Jonathan Sutherland, former NFLer who they had picked a couple of years ago, now providing depth at that spot as well. So they've insulated themselves against some of those losses.
Another Aussie punter, the veteran Joseph Zima, 6th year now with the Owls out of Incarnate Word, descended to Isaiah Wooden at the Hamilton 40. 50. Midfield has some room. And look at him go across midfield. A great return down close to the 30 of the Montreal Alouettes. A great place for Bo Levi Mitchell and company to start a drive.
Isaiah Wooden, one of the great stories of the 2025 season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Real breakout player in the return game. You mentioned earlier a guy they expected to lose to the National Football League. They had signed Mario Alford. Great returner from Saskatchewan in free agency. And then late in camp, they end up getting Wooden back.
And a 38-yard return for Isaiah Wooden. So Larry Roundtree gets another touch. Of course, Greg Bell here last year. He moved on as a free agent to Ottawa, and Roundtree won the job. Look at those off-season changes for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I know everyone's excited about Larry Roundtree, and as they should be, but to me, Greg Bell, you know, is one of the guys they've lost, is not talked about enough. This guy is an electric runner. I love watching him on film, and I think that Roundtree's got big shoes to fill. Yeah. Sometimes you can get carried away with, oh, we got all these receivers. It's great to have a great back as well.
Out of Missouri, there's another catch for DeAndre Smith on a first down, wrestled out by Wesley Sutton.
This is a pretty cool play here. You're going to see they get man coverage, and you got a tight end backside in line. And what I want you to watch here is basically it's a pick route. So you see everyone on the line of scrimmage. It's man coverage. It's called a natural rub. You don't necessarily need to pick anyone. Just get in their way so they can't fly to the flat. And it's an easy pitch and catch from Bo Levi Smith.
Once again, the tight end, Max Mang, is in there. And he gets his first CFL catch from Potsdam, Germany. Global player, played his college ball at Syracuse. Max Mang.
Mitigate the effect maybe of someone who is coming free.
Absolutely.
So the second quarter begins at the Alouettes 17. A second and long for Mitchell. Gets some protection, but the pressure is too much. Tyrese Beverett, weak side linebacker, coming in to provide some heat against his old team. And Mitchell goes down, and a third down coming up.
This is one of those when you're an offensive lineman, you get a little annoyed because the sack shows up on the stat sheet, but it's quick game. So you kind of want to jump set or not take a big drop. You see them all here kind of sliding. It's just a bit unfortunate that ends up a sack on the play sheet. See how there's no depth there? They're expected to get the ball out quickly.
Yeah, and one of the challenges that the Tiger Cats recognized this week, knowing how Montreal plays, Larry Roundtree, first-year CFL running back, that there will be some challenges in blitz pickup, that recognition.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially in the Canadian game because guys can be flying from all over the place.
Yeah.
So Mark Leggio, 27-yarder, missed only 4 field goals last year, and a good start for him to add to the Ticat lead. 3 more on the board for Leggio and the Ticats, and a 10-0 lead early in this second quarter.
One of my favorite, images is after a second down, and you look at Bo Levi, he's on the iPad, and you can see he had a look of confusion. There's something that Noel Thorpe drew up there where there was pre-snap, confused him again. It was quick game. It was a traditional stick play, and pre-snap they had a different read, and obviously Montreal, big success.
So Alouette football again. Shamari Lawrence, the running back beside Davis Alexander, a fake to him. And a quick one to Tyson Philpott. Gets across midfield and a first down just like that for the Alouettes.
And I love the spacing here of the field, just the room that they give Philpott to go to work, essentially giving him almost half the field. It's 2 receivers out to that wide side. The window's pretty big.
Absolutely in there to hand that ball off. This is the offense they want to play.
Just across midfield and a first down for Davis Alexander. Alouettes in a 10-point hole. Well, he has to check it down to Lawrence, who takes a pop. And the ball comes out. That was ex-Alouette Reggie Stubblefield, the nickel linebacker, coming in with a hard hit. And that ball came out. They discussed this one.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats signed Reggie Stubblefield in free agency before the 2025 season. And, it's one that I thought at the time, very astute signing, because he had missed essentially the entire 2024 year because of injury, hurt right at the start of the year. But this is a guy, that previous year, the Grey Cup year for Montreal, one of the key changes to their starting lineup is inserting Reggie Stubblefield at that spot. Impactful guy.
No fumble. It came out when he was down. Alexander on the move. Being chased, but does get rid of it. And Tyson Philpott wanted a flag, and Philpott does get it. Pass interference coming up here against the Ticats.
Oh, close call, but
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 30. Spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
you see Katsantonis at the bottom of your screen. He's going to sort of mirror the quarterback getting out to the sideline to make a play on this one. I don't know if defensive fans are going to love that.
I don't love it either, and I'm not a defensive fan.
Yeah, that's look pretty close.
There's a penalty. There's a first down. And here come the Alouettes. And quickly, again, for Alexander to Sneed down inside the 25 now. As this is the best the Alouettes offenses look so far.
Yeah, and again, this is the game they want to play. They basically nickel and dime you down the field, and they have such a physical up front offensive line that's, again, is an RPO right there, pulls it out, goes into the slot this time, set out wide to Philpott like the one before. When they get this going, they're very, very hard to stop.
Yeah, I know you're a big run game advocate.
I am a huge run game guy. Yes, and this is what they'd like to get going.
And they run it this time with Lawrence. Can't find anything up the middle. He cuts it out, but not much there, and a flag comes out in the Alouette backfield as well.
This is going to be a holding here, and I got to show some love to the O-lineman because it's an inside zone play. And when we bounce outside, that's when your arms get extended. So, yes, you want to run your feet.
Holding. Montreal number 54. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yes, you want to run your feet when the arms get extended, but you're not expecting the ball to bounce. So you look at Lawrence here. It's actually a great win for him. He gets thrown a bit there, so you do want to let go. But outside, I thought there was another one we just saw that could have been called as well.
So it pushes them back on the hold. It's a 1st and 20. Ball back to the Hamilton 35. Alouettes still with no points in this game. 10-0. Hamilton leading it. Second quarter. Alexander. Over the middle. He threads that beautifully to Sneed. Still going into the end zone. For the first Alouette touchdown at 20-26. Davis Alexander to Tyler Sneed.
This is an absolute seed from Davis Alexander. Holy smokes, this is sweet. Okay, this is a perfect view. Just watch this throw. He looks left. Are you kidding me? Look at the window. You want to talk about greatness? You want to talk about coming out here and ripping a ball in there? There's 1 foot he can fit that ball in there. And not only does he do it, it hits Sneed right in the chest. Gosh, that's fun to watch.
The thought running through my mind as I watched him throw that ball, and you saw the angle there, how close it was. You know, we knew it at the time, but if you don't like that throw, you don't like football.
I'm fired up. That gets me juiced.
Football's definition of threading the needle.
Fans in Hamilton, Ontario. Mel, do you know what's better than standing beside one Hall of Famer?
What's that, Kate?
2 Hall of Famers. Brandon, on behalf of the CFL and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, you will be inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame this coming September.
Yeah, hey, that's a pretty good surprise. How you feeling right now about it?
I'm so surprised, but thank you to the CFL, thank you to the Ticat Nation, thank you to the Ticat organization for everything they've done for me. It's a surreal moment.
Brandon, I have to ask, you've played in some incredible stadiums in this league, some incredible fans in Toronto and in Hamilton, but what specifically does this fan base mean to you?
I mean, everything to me. I mean, they made me who I am. They made the Speedy B name bigger than me. So I'm just happy I was able to go out there, you know, play 8 consecutive years with them and cheer me on loud, and I just enjoyed it while I was here.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Congratulations,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the club, bro.
What a moment for Speedy B. Brandon Banks. There initially, just to be honored as Ticat great alumni, he didn't know. And yeah, an embrace for Kate Burness, who filled him in. He is going to the Hall of Fame, which happens to be here in Hamilton as well. Richly deserved for a tremendous career as a returner and as a receiver.
Yeah, and a guy who kind of forced his way onto the offense, right? He was such a dominant performer in the return game. For a while, the Tiger Cats were hesitant to let him play on offense because he was so critical to them on special teams, but they thought, well, if he's doing this, getting the ball in his hands 5 or 10 times a game, imagine if we can use him on offense. That was when Jude Jones first took over as head coach. And
Back in 2017.
And Speedy B became the go-to receiver with Jeremiah Masoli slinging the ball.
Jude Jones, there's an offensive player right there.
Former Ticat head coach here, but yeah, been in many stops. And that was a big decision to change. He ended up being the #1 receiver in the Canadian Football League in 2019. They went 15-3 that year and went on to the Grey Cup against Winnipeg. Brandon Banks heading to the Hall of Fame, as he just found out. So after the Montreal touchdown and up across the 30 on the